I worked really hard to go back to my friends, and there's maybe 5 or 6 of them that from when I'm 18, and say, guys, I'm sorry I neglected you. I've been really busy. I had to go on this journey. It's done now. I want to be back in the gang sort of thing. And they're like, Hulbert, look, we didn't even know you'd gone anywhere. You learn so much as a senior leader by understanding what people have challenged them with themselves. So I think for me, I just wanted to make sure that I was always open and having those conversations and being part of that networking community. If someone's going to come in and absolutely outperform every expectation, that's a great thing. That's what you should be hiring. Because what? Alternatively, you're going to hire mediocre people who are just going to bumble along.
Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of the second season of the Modern Journey podcast. I'm your host, Hamza, and I am joined by the incredible Andrew Hulbert. Hi Andrew, how are you?
Hello, how you doing? I'm really good. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Oh, my pleasure. I haven't done you justice, but I'm going to give you some time to kind of tell the people what you do because it's a lot and it's all great stuff.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, how are you?
I am really good. I'm having a great day. My news for today, I've been trying to buy this nature reserve near my house for the last 6 months.
Amazing.
And today it just went through.
Congratulations.
So I just bought a 5-acre nature reserve with its
That's
own.
amazing.
It's got a spring pond that comes out of the ground
wow.
and 200 meters of stream that goes down the middle of it as well.
That is so cool.
So for the kids and everything, we're so excited.
Oh, that's amazing.
To get them at
well
one with
done.
nature. So yes, finally, it's taken a long time.
Hey,
so,
well done.
So that's my good news for today.
Well done. That's some amazing news.
Yeah,
that's great
feeling
news.
good. Yes.
That's really good news. What inspired you to want to have a nature reserve?
The kids. So for me, I grew up with a telly in my room, and that means my attention span is terrible. I'm not a good reader. I can't focus on stuff for very long.
Yeah,
that might have been the telly. It might just be me in general. But with the kids, I wanted my kids to not be focused on iPads and phones. I want them to be out with nature.
That's really
I want
good.
them to enjoy the greenery. Yeah. I want them to love animals, and I want them to want to do better for the environment. So that's why. That's why.
Yeah. Is it going to be a private one or is it? Yeah. Okay.
So
awesome.
Private to start with.
Okay.
The thing I need to do is get some public liability insurance in case someone goes in the pond. And but yeah, for now, private. But it's totally undisturbed. Yeah. And they've had camera traps there. So every British wildlife you could imagine they've had there. Yeah. But yeah, it's all for the children. We want to make sure that they have some space to be outside and enjoy it. Yeah. And yeah, my wife loves nature as well. So
I love that.
Ticks lots of boxes.
Do you guys have pets?
Not yet, but we are waiting for some goats to be born because we're on a farm. So we've got pygmy goats that are coming in the summer. And then probably we'll end up getting a dog and all that sort of stuff. We have a cat, but he's a farm cat. So he's out eating mice most of the day.
Yeah, true.
He has put weight on since we've stopped feeding him because he keeps going and eat the things. But
he's like, well, if you don't give me food, I'm going to find food elsewhere.
He does. And you should see the size of the rabbits and things that he brings back. But yeah, we are. We're very lucky. But I think for us, goats is like a nice way in because the little pygmy goats, and they're very cute, and you can interact with them, and the kids can play with them and things.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we're looking forward to it. That's what this
so
summer
cool.
entails.
I was going to say, when you start inviting people over, please let me be at the top of the list.
Yes.
Because I've got a little dog and my wife loves nature and I love nature. I'm not that much of a walker in terms of in the forest and stuff, but we live by Epping Forest, so we take walks in the forest and all of that. So whenever you need testers, if you want to be like, what's the user experience like, let me know. And I'll gladly come.
We have so many ideas for what we'd love to do, but like keeping bees and honey and things, making our own honey could be quite fun because it's far enough away from the house that it's not dangerous for the kids. But I mean, also as a kid, how cool would it be to make your own honey and be like a little beekeeper?
And honey is amazing, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah,
such an amazing product.
Yeah.
Like we don't use sugar in the house. We use either honey or agave syrup.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, those two for us are like our main things.
And it's good for hay fever and things, apparently, if you're eating local honey because of the stuff that's local to you.
I think there was one particular type of honey they said was great because it came in like a bead form or something. Wow. I did not like it because I suffer from hay fever every year. Every year I've contemplated taking the shots, but I'm too scared of all the reviews I see.
Yes.
So I don't know. But I forgot what the name of that honey is called, but it comes in like...
Manuka honey maybe?
Manuka, I love Manuka honey.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, it was like a beaded one. I can't
I don't know.
Yeah, they said that's the one that's specifically great for hay fever.
Oh, okay.
But it has like to me, a waxy taste. So whenever I put in anything, it just like completely kills the taste.
You can feel it on your tongue.
Yeah, I can feel it. So, but yeah, anyway. So for the people who don't actually know a lot about you and what you do and the many amazing things you do. Can you just give them like a brief?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm probably best known for my entrepreneurial journey. So I started a business called Pareto in the facilities management sector, which we share together in our love of work. I grew that to a £50 million business over 10 years, and we sold that for about £80 million.
Wow.
And I exited when I was 37. So I went on a 10-year entrepreneurial journey.
Nice.
I'm still a non-exec for that business now. I also am the chair of the Institute of Workplace. So I look after the sector too as a volunteer, which keeps me very busy. We have about 12,000 members that we look after, and I sit on top of the board for that. I run a charity called Tomorrow Meets Today, which promotes, basically it promotes different backgrounds and ethnicities and creative people coming together within facilities management and trying to show that future leaders and current leaders can come together to show some difference. In our membership group as a sector, we know that about 85% of our group are white and most of them are men.
Yes.
So actually we have this very disproportionate sector that has not a huge amount of diversity at the top. So it's very important to me to work with Sajna, and we run the charity together to try and represent and show people that are younger that there are opportunities at the top and bring brilliant leaders together.
Absolutely.
And I'm a father. That's perhaps that's the most important thing out of everything. My children are now 5 and 7.
Oh, beautiful.
You find me today at the age of 39, so 2 years since I stepped back from working. And I prioritize my kids now. And yes, it's wonderful to have some money from exiting a business, but there's nothing more powerful than time.
Absolutely.
And going swimming and taking the kids to school and doing homework and going in the garden and planting vegetables and eating and food. I love it. And I really feel like one of my vocations in life right now is to be a present dad. And to help, and I love it. And honestly, you can forget the sports cars, you can forget the Gucci belts, all that sort of stuff. I'm not the Gucci belts, not the Gucci belts, and the Louis Vuitton shoes. Not interested at all. There is nothing that makes me feel more whole as a person than when I've had 9 hours sleep because I have no alarm clock.
Tell me about the sleep. Tell me about the sleep.
And my kids come in and give us a cuddle, and it's just amazing. So so that's me. I've been very busy as an entrepreneur. I volunteer a lot. I have a charity. And just the final plug, I'm one of the biggest blood donors in the world.
We're just talking about it.
So I'm one of the fastest people in UK history to get to 100 donations. I donate platelets every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Saved over 1,000 lives now. And I love it.
That's amazing.
I love donating blood.
Do you have to be very strict on your diet and the vitamins and supplements that you're taking?
The challenge with donating every 2 weeks is your body is always in recovery mode because you just keep giving blood away and then your body needs to regenerate it. I have to take lots of iron because my iron really goes down. But you have to eat iron as well. So things like spinach and things are important to keep going. The reason I love donating blood is you have to live a healthy life. You can't.
So you feel like it keeps you accountable?
Oh, absolutely. You can't take drugs. You can't have new sexual partners. You can't have tattoos. You can't have piercings. You have to be really careful about it, even when you travel. So outside of Europe can be quite challenging as well.
Wow.
So it makes you, I travel a lot, but within Europe. I'm trying to go to every European country, which is challenging right now.
What percent are you now?
So I've done 27 of the 31 in the EU.
Oh, wow.
And I've done something like in total 30 of the nearly 50 in Europe as a whole. Wow. But of course, challenging to get to Belarus and Russia and things like that right now. Even Cyprus, which is due soon.
Yes.
So I'm sort of working my way around. But I love food and I love travel and I love people. So there is nothing better for me than just get on my own. Earlier on this year, I got on a plane. I went to Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania in the cold, minus 10 degrees. Got on a coach between each place and just spent a couple of days traveling through and just chatting, eating wonderful food, going to bakeries, and then going home to family and just being together. But we travel a lot as a family. I travel with my friends, and I feel a great richness to travel.
I love that.
And like diversity.
Like the fullness of life.
Oh, absolutely. Because we get so caught up in the day-to-day of life, don't we? Right? We know what that's like. Open your eyes. Go and when you sit on a bus for 4 hours going from Estonia to Latvia, it's amazing what you see and who you chat to, and then like the food and everything. But I'm a massive foodie.
Me too.
So it's always
I love food.
Always my ambition to do that.
Food.
So yes, that's how you find me today, doing lots of different things.
Okay. So you wear a lot of hats, and not just currently, but previously. You're a founder, investor, chair, advisor, all of that great stuff. But when you strip all of that back, and I think we've touched on it a little bit, but when you strip all those titles away, what season of your life are you actually in right now?
I feel like I was going on this crazy journey, which was up.
Yeah.
When I was an entrepreneur, I was all in. So I was easily 110 hours a week. I prioritized work over family. I wasn't a brilliant father. I wasn't a brilliant husband.
Okay.
I wasn't a brilliant son.
I love the honesty.
I have to be honest. And I never did anything bad. I just wasn't present. And I wasn't. And when I was present, I wasn't there because I was thinking about something else.
Yeah.
The phone was attached to my pulse.
Of course.
Because, of course, in facilities management in our world, buildings don't close at 5 o'clock.
Absolutely not. And they love to have a problem when you're doing your downtime.
Yes.
That's when they love to have a problem.
Or 2 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Like, it's always the weekends when there was something going on. And one of my big customers was London Zoo and Whipsnade Zoo. So we had 20,000 animals that you were dealing with as well across those things too. So I was all in. Where you find me now, I went on this journey where I got to the peak of that and I pushed my body as hard as I could. I then had my exit and I was very lucky through the exit period. And now I'm just coming down the other side. And I would call this the decompression phase of my life. I went all in. I'm just about to turn 40. I'm focused on family. I'm focused on health. I'm focused on mental health and exploring the world. And I hope to live for another 40 years. But I am really philosophical about life now.
Really?
We take for granted every day
Absolutely.
that tomorrow everything is going to be the same as it was today. And it just isn't. And people die and people come in and out of our lives and things change and wars happen and all these things happen at the same time.
Absolutely.
And so I'm really, really trying to be present in the moment and really like with my kids, as silly as eating dinner together or cooking some pasta or doing some homework, I really care about those moments. And a lot of entrepreneurs, certainly men, after they've exited, everyone is always saying to me, what are you doing next?
What are you doing next?
Yeah. What business are you going to run next? And I'm like, I know I'm cool. And they're like, what's your goal? I was like, I don't have a goal. My goal is to just be present. And a lot of people struggle with that answer. And I was like, but no, I can't tell you how magical it is to wake up with no alarm clock, spend some time with your kids,
that's the dream.
Go and have brunch with your wife, and you're rested and you've eaten well. And like, if you want to go and do some planting in the day, you can, or take the quad bike out or whatever. That is absolutely magic. And that is where I find happiness, not in the sports cars or in anything like that. It's all about just the moment. Reconnecting with friends, family, wife, kids is so special. You don't need tens of millions to do that, by the way.
Absolutely.
You need to prioritize.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have taken the advice myself if someone said that to me. But like, if you can put the phone away, with my wife, after we drop the kids off, often we'll go for brunch in Bicester Village. I live over near there. But we'll leave the phones in the car. The power of just chatting and connecting. It sounds so simple, but people just don't do it. And like, you're always thinking about something else, but put the phones away, have a chat. It would be amazing what you learn about your partner. I've been with Heather for 20 years. I still learn new things every day.
Absolutely, as you should, right?
Yes. As we change as humans and our needs change.
Because we're constantly evolving. And that's sometimes when you see relationships that don't work and you actually speak to them, a lot of the times it's that they've grown out of love. And they've grown apart. And the reason they grow apart is we keep growing. So you kind of need to stay on top of each other. What's new with you today, you know, and check it in. How has your opinion changed? Because we all have individual lives. We're not together 24/7, right? So things affect us differently. So
but like, if you think Heather and I would, so she was born the day before me, so we're one day apart.
No way. She's one day older
than me.
Does she ever use that over you?
I'm her toy boy, right? On that. We met when we were 19 as we went into university. Today, we're both 39, having been on a journey and retired. Both of us have finished working and now living on a farm. Now, you think 19-year-old Andrew and Heather and 39-year-old Andrew and Heather, we are different people.
Absolutely.
And going through that journey together is very important, but it's about trust. It's about communication. I don't pretend I've been good in terms of like getting it right the whole way through. I haven't, because I prioritized other things. But being able to stick together and almost trying to make amends now to bring that together, that's one of my goals. I prioritize Heather, which I didn't always do. And yes, I feel very positive about that. And no, it's magic. Absolutely magic. I love it. The conversations and the learning and the kids and everything. So touch wood, right now we're in our happy place, but not taking it for granted, because anything can change anytime.
That's the truth. You never know what life could throw at you. But I appreciate you saying that. So when you look back over your journey so far, what do you think ambition has given you?
I think early on, I came from working class background.
Yeah.
So we had to, everything we had when we were younger, we had to earn. So that was either I had a job from the age of 12 or like my dad was in a factory for all his life. My mum was in Sainsbury's for 30 years and a cleaner and a paper girl and doing and raising 3 kids at the same time. So I was very ambitious early on. Now, my mum is still my best friend, right? I love my family and I love my connection to community and everything. I didn't want a life like my mum and dad had. I didn't want to go to work for 50 years and get paid like a minimum, slightly above minimum wage and work for that time. That wasn't my ambition. I wanted to create a life that I wanted to live. And I didn't want people to tell me what to do. Like, people talk about money, but all money enabled me to do is not have a boss to listen to. I still have desires and needs and have bad days and good days. And yesterday I did too much and I was tired and I'd only drank coffee all day and my body didn't have enough nutrients in it and everything. So I was in a bad mood yesterday. I still have arguments with my kids. I don't always get it right. But what it meant is I could wake up in the morning and do what I wanted to do. And if something didn't feel right, I could say, do you know what? This isn't for me. It's such a freeing feeling to be able to do that. And that was always my ambition, to be able to choose what I did on a day-to-day basis. Now, right now, I choose to be a father and I choose to do lots of podcasts and tell the story. But I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to sign people up to a masterclass. I'm just saying, here's the story. I would love it if people are interested. And I like interacting. Partly my problem is I'm very helpful. And I actually have to learn this skill because I have a lot of people contact me now, often product entrepreneurs. They've started a product. They've maybe sold a few thousand of them. And then they're thinking, how do they go to the next stage? I'm not a product guy. I'm a services guy, but I'm a nice guy and I'll have a chat. I have probably had 10 1-hour like consultancy sessions for free in the last 10 hours of, and now I don't even have the answers, but of course they want to chat.
You just want to be helpful.
I want to be helpful. But now I start connecting them to each other and there's no charge for any of that. It's just bringing them together. So like I want to say yes because I love it and I love helping people out. And when I was a young entrepreneur, I didn't have anybody that was giving me that sort of support. So I understand how powerful it can be. But also I need to balance because it's very, very easy. When you start building a little bit of profile, you get sucked in. And it's very easy to say yes to everything. And then you're challenging yourself on what your priorities still are. But it generally for me, if I can do the school run in the morning and be home for dinner, that's my goal. And actually that gives you quite a lot of the day then to try and do stuff in between.
And so it forces you to be productive as well.
It does. It does. But so like today is the perfect day for me. Took them to school, recorded a couple of podcasts. I'll be home for dinner. Fantastic. It's a great day.
And what do you think ambition has taken away from you?
Well, I think my ambition really got the better of me because for me, ambition was just working harder and harder and more hours and every networking event and every opportunity. What ambition took away was time in relationships. I wasn't focusing on relationships as much as I should have done. And now luckily for me, all of the relationships that I care about and cherish are still here and they can still be worked on.
That.
But ambition drove me to work incredibly hard. And I think in the early days of Pareto, when it was just me and I was doing everything, literally payroll, HR, operations, mobilization, sales, finance, I did everything. I'd go to my mum's on a Saturday afternoon and I'd just fall asleep on the floor. It was like my happy place. It was like I was safe to go back in there. So that was where my ambition drove me to. But now I'm ambitious for myself in a different way, to keep challenging myself, to be present. Like I just said, it's very easy to get pulled back in.
Absolutely.
And you meet more people and these people have got more things and more shiny and more famous and all that. And like, in the end, I don't care for it enough. It doesn't drive me. And I don't look online at people and go, oh, I wish I would have been at that event or anything. If you can pull yourself away from that, it's really hard. But if you can, it's really freeing.
It's being comfortable with the fear of missing out.
But like, it's very easy for people. Online is a really difficult space.
It is.
As you and I know. And we were talking about it just before we came on. If you can hold your own success in your own soul in here that only you believe in, and you are not basing your success on someone that you see online, that's really freeing. The challenge I have with people online, many of them, it's not real. So like they will give you the Instagram version of their lives. They probably don't own the sports car. They've probably rented it. They'll make you videos of when they were always in the Maldives. They've probably been once and they made 100 videos whilst they were there.
In different clothes.
Yes, in different clothes. Or maybe they have the private jet, the fake one that you can get in Luton or whatever.
That's
and make
crazy.
A video.
I saw the video of that. I was like, this is real.
This is real.
This is crazy.
But don't take your happiness from other people's view of it.
Absolutely.
And because some people would criticize me to say, oh, well, you only made X number of million. Why don't you make $1 billion? I'm not interested.
Yes.
That's not.
It's knowing when to stop. It's knowing when it's enough for you.
But that's not my version of success. For right now, I want to spend some money and spend some time. I don't want to go and graft to try and get to $1 billion. Look, I have self-belief that I probably could make hundreds of millions if I wanted to, but that's not where I'm at. And I think if you can be really comfortable with yourself and not hold yourself to the standards of others, and you only hold yourself to the highest account, that's so powerful.
That's amazing.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
Because people drag you in. And then they write nasty things in the comments, or then they challenge you in a way. Or like I mentioned about some blood. I've had blood challenges myself from the blood community. And those sort of things do affect you.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, on the whole, in a really good place.
One thing I appreciate about speaking with you is that I love how open you are. And I love how open you discuss topics, especially when it comes to your life, because I feel like one of the ways that we learn the best is from other people's experiences and other people's lives. So thank you so much for being open, even as we go further into more questions. So you've spoken, again, really openly about building something hugely successful while missing time at home, missing time with your wife and your kids, and losing some friendships along the way as well. When did the cost of all of those, when did it become apparent to you?
Yeah, do you know what? When you're in the middle of it all, it's hard to even find time to think about that.
This is true, yeah.
The times it was most apparent is my wife used to do ballet on a Saturday.
Okay.
Now, Saturday was the only day I would take off, like in the daytime, when I mentioned going to my mum's in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So my wife said, well, look, I'm at ballet on a Saturday. You are off on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Can't you just take Sunday off instead of Saturday? Because like we're missing time with each other. Because Andrew, the only time you're free, I am doing something else. She's like, can't you be busy on a Saturday and then be free on Sunday? Because then we can be free together. But in my mindset, I couldn't. Sunday was a working day for me because Monday was only one day away. So Saturday was my only day. It was times like that when my wife was actively saying, I want you to do X. And I'm saying, no, for the business, I'm going to do Y.
Yes.
Those are the times that you feel it. Wow. And if you can catch yourself doing it. The other time, the only real downtime I had was in the shower. And I used to listen to music. So music's really important to me.
Tell me about it. It's the only thing that seems to calm my mind down.
Because you can go to a place, different place. Now, I am a 90s pop guy, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, 90s and 2000s.
I was just going to ask who are you listening to these days?
It's not very cool, but I love Girls Aloud, Spice Girls, Sugar Babes, Busted, McFly, Oasis, Red Hot Chili Peppers. So like that 90s Stereophonics I love as well. So like, give me a Girls Aloud album or a Spice Girls album. I'm there and I'll listen to it all day long. And I've actually, Spice Girls' back catalogue isn't even that big. So like,
true. So you go through it very quickly.
I've sessioned that. But those moments in the shower and lyrics really used to resonate with me because you catch yourself. And there was a song by Rita Ora and Sigma, and it was, there's a lyric called I'm Coming Home. Yeah. And I used to listen to it and I used to feel like, because the word is, this life that I've been living ain't my own. And that was how I felt. The life I was living as an entrepreneur was something I needed to do to get to an end. But it wasn't my life. And I was going to come back to that life and I was going to come home, and that family and community unit. It was times like that when I just caught one lyric in a song in the shower. That's when I felt like it most. And actually that's when you realize that you were missing things. And then like with my friends in particular, you started to see pictures of what they were doing on a Friday night, and they'd be together or they've gone on holiday together, and you're not there. Yeah. They're hard times because you realize what you're sacrificing. Yeah. But I knew those were important to me, and I knew those were the ones that I would go back and fight for. And I have done. And actually, like, just with my friends, because we should talk about men in particular, because I'm approaching my 40s now, and men under 45, we know depression is a real challenge for men at that age. Yeah. And if I look around at my friendship group, some have got kids, some are still single, some live in a shared house still, some live in a family home. Yeah. Everyone's different. And actually, I worked really hard to go back to my friends, and there may be 5 or 6 of them that from when I'm 18, and say, guys, I'm sorry I neglected you. I've been really busy. I had to go on this journey. Wow. It's done now. I want to be back in the gang, sort of thing. And they're like, Hulbert, look, we didn't even know you'd gone anywhere. You know, it's
first of all, hold on a second. Can we just go back to you actually reaching out to people?
Oh, yeah.
That is, and I'm not saying this because you're here, but that is incredibly mature of you, because a lot of people would say, I don't care what other people think. I was building my life. I was building a company. I've made all this money. If you don't want to be friends, goodbye. But you actually took the time. What?
The opposite of what you've just said.
My gosh.
If someone writes a comment about me online on entrepreneurship, I genuinely don't care. Right? I really mean it. If I've upset my friends in some way, people that I care about, people that when I was 16, I was running away from the police with and all that sort of stuff, those people I care about. So I cared about their opinions, and I felt bad I hadn't invested enough in our relationships. And they would still invite me to things and they would still do bits and pieces, but that was really important to me personally. Same with my family and my wife and my mum and dad and everything. So it was very straightforward for me to go back and say, look, I'm sorry. Now, they didn't care because they're boys and they didn't even notice. They're busy with their own lives. It was all in my own head, really, a lot of the stuff. But I said to them, look, and also they don't care about money. They're not impressed with the millions. I'm just Hulbert at the end of the day. I'm just part of the gang. They remember when I was stealing pizzas out the freezer at house parties we used to go to, right? That's what I was doing before.
That is legendary. That's crazy.
Getting drunk and putting a bin bag on and all sorts of stuff. Gosh. When we were young, we did stupid stuff.
Yes, I can imagine.
But I said to them, look, what I'm really good at is organizing. Like, I'm really good at organizing. So tell me 2 dates that you're free in October and I'll organize a holiday. You guys are going to pay, but we'll do it together. So we've done 2. We went to Budapest and Vienna and we went to Napoli and Rome. And like, we went to Napoli and we got on a train and we had some beers on the train and we went up to Rome. It was just magic. Just 4 or 5 of us, no kids, everyone back. And it's like you're 17 again because all the responsibilities have gone out the window. And like they say, the hiss of that first beer on the train as you just sit there and you drink it and you feel it and you're together. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yes.
And like that, I'm so fortunate that my friends were there for me still and that they're organising it. But also my group is very busy. So like in January, I said, let's do something together because it's been a while. The 8th of May is the first that we can all get together. So 8th of May, and somebody wants me to go to an event on the 8th of May. I said, I can't. It's literally taken me 5 months to get my friends together.
At least you guys have reached a consensus. I know a lot of group chats who are listening right now that are still arguing on a date.
But you know, you just have to put a date down. And you're like, guys, look, if you want to prioritize it, fantastic. But yeah, most of them are coming. But one of our friends, he's just got a new girlfriend. He's absolutely infatuated. He's too busy. She's doing something.
That's what happens. That's the new lovebirds. Give them a few months.
And
they'll be fine.
But yeah, it really played on my mind. And when I talk about what success is now, that feels like success. Going to Napoli and Rome and just spending some time together, walking around and chatting and seeing what's going on in their lives, the good and the bad.
Again, it's the fullness of life, right?
It is. And look, just with men under 45, just talk to each other.
Yes.
Like, just talk to each other. Because even within my group, one of them will open up and then we'll all start talking about it. And a few of us are fathers. We don't get it right. Just yesterday, one of them came on and said, my son has turned 3. He's really a handful now. He keeps shouting. He won't listen to me. I don't know what to do. And actually, I'm like, I'm not a great father either, but let's work this out together. And everyone shares their experiences. Yeah, men under 45 just talk to each other and just understand that other men are going through the same thing as you. So powerful.
No, I appreciate that. So for ambitious people, how do you know when you're building something meaningful and when you're just feeding a machine that is literally just consuming and eating everything around you?
I think there are certain moments when you realize this thing is getting bigger than you. That's when you realize how meaningful it can become. Because when I started and I was working very hard and doing lots of hours, you are doing everything. But all of a sudden you start hiring more people and then they start hiring people. And then there are people in your business you've never met. Even though you've hired everyone. And I remember when we got to 200 staff, that felt like a really big thing. And then we ended up with 500 staff in the end. So like there are moments when you realize that you're losing control and that's okay because you need to hire a team that's going to take that control for you. And like we should talk a bit about trust in business is so important. Like if you look around at your senior team and you don't trust people within that team, you need to build one that you do trust.
Absolutely.
Because when you're not in the room, you need them to operate as if you are.
You can't be in the room all the time.
No, and as you get bigger, you can't. And look at the big organizations that you work for and will work for. There are tens of thousands of people. You have to put in great people to do it. So I think you start to realize as the business gets bigger, as there's more layers, as there's people hired that you don't know, this is growing beyond your ambition. And actually now you need somehow to try and keep hold of it. But I was never, to be honest, when I started, I didn't know what the end game was or how big I wanted to get or anything. So the 50 million was just a number that we got to. But I probably realized about 20 million in that this business now depended on a lot more than just me.
Yes.
There was a whole team there. And I remember I felt one day I just had this overwhelming sense of importance because we had 200 staff and each of those probably had, say, 4 or 5 family members that depended on that job.
Yeah.
So now there's 1,000 people depending on what you do on a day to day. I remember having that thought, thinking, Andrew, I'm a good person and I'm always going to try and help and I'm going to make good decisions for the business, but you have to now.
Now you have a responsibility to. Yeah.
And it's not just to their husbands and wives, it's their kids and it's the stakeholders around them. And that started to play on me a little bit, that I was making important decisions. And and that's how it happened.
Okay. And was there ever any points that you asked yourself, I've built this thing, but do I actually like the way I'm living?
Probably not, if I'm honest. I was always wanting more because I was always all in. I was always like, great, we'd win a contract. Let's just say it's £1 million a year contract. You would walk out of there, you'd get the yes, you'd have a buzz for about 10 seconds, and then you go, oh dear, how am I going to deliver this? How am I going to deliver this? And by the way, as you come out your phone, you'd have missed 5 calls anyway, and there's be a load of emails and everything's piling up. And for me, entrepreneurship for 10 years was a never-ending to-do list. There was never a moment where I go, great, everything's done. Because it isn't. You can always do more.
Absolutely.
And I'm an inbox zero guy. So that...
Same.
Yes.
I cannot have a notification.
Yes.
It has to be 0.
So it
has to be 0.
I could tell you how busy I was based on how many unactioned emails there were in my inbox.
I'm the same.
The day you get to 0, if you ever get to 0, is a magical day.
Oh yeah, give it 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly. And then it shoots straight back up. But like I never missed anything. I always responded. I always WhatsApp back. I always text back. I always went to the events. But I was just so focused on it, and I never had a PA either. And people are surprised by the PA thing.
Yes,
I did it all myself.
What?
Because I
am not even half as senior as you were, and I'm like, I need a PA. Yeah, I need someone to sort all of this out.
I needed one, but I partly because I was a control freak, so I wanted to do it.
I was going to ask that, but yeah, that makes sense.
So partly it had to be done my way. And secondly, I was so focused on success, I didn't want someone else to like miss a meeting or accidentally put it in for the wrong time.
And it could be on you.
It could be on me and I didn't go to a customer. I never wanted to say, sorry, my PA didn't do this.
I know you've moved on from that, but oh my God, that is so problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've worked with some very senior people with some really terrible PAs.
Okay,
and it does make them look bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and I really think I was destined to be a PA myself. Honestly, I reckon I'd be the best one. If like the EA community, shout me out, because if I ever go back into work, that's what I would do.
That's what you want to do.
I'll find some high-powered woman. I'm going to look after her.
That would be amazing.
She would have the best,
especially if they have like loads of like international trips and stuff.
Yes. And I could put bakeries in their diary and all that sort of thing.
Quick bakery stuff.
But yeah, so like it was a little bit of a control thing, but also like I hated excuses, and I always wanted to be accountable myself. And look, don't get me wrong, being a PA in an EA is an amazing career, and they run the show.
They do.
They absolutely run the show. But it wasn't for me. I could probably still do with one today, but no, I enjoy booking in my podcasts and stuff myself. So,
I can imagine just having that personal touch as well.
Yeah.
When we spoke before this, one of the things that came across even now and when we spoke was just how seriously you take fatherhood and how dedicated you want to be to that.
Yeah.
And you talked about not wanting to raise children who have access and privilege, but no grounding. Yeah. What does that intentional fatherhood look like?
Yeah, I want even my 4-year-old who's just about to turn 5, I want them to understand that if you want something, you have to do something else first. Even with eating. If you want to eat that nice dessert at the end, you need to eat your nutrient-filled dinner first. And so if you want to watch some telly, you need to do your homework first. If you want to, I don't know, have a bath instead of a shower tonight, you need to tidy your room. It's very early for me understanding that you have to put something in to get something out. And I am really conscious about like the food that they eat, the time that they spend on screens, the television, what they watch. And because I want them to not be consumed by that. They will be in the end, because that's life. Everybody will be. but I just feel this responsibility that the longer I can keep them away from being totally engrossed. I do not judge any parents. You do whatever you need to do. Parenting is hard.
It's difficult,
right? And I don't pretend I'm better than anybody else. But I went on holiday in May last year in a hotel. We went down for breakfast. About half the kids were on iPads at breakfast. That isn't the vision for me. I understand why parents do it, because especially when they're both busy and they're trying to work hard.
It's just easier.
It is easier, and they focus, and it keeps the kids zoned in and everything, and you can get other stuff done. But often then you found the parents were on their phones at the same time.
True.
Again, no judgment. If that's how you want to live, that's fantastic. But that isn't my version.
Yeah.
So being present with them and trying to make them understand that you need input to get output. I also care about things like the food that they eat. So like you mentioned about not having sugar in your house. That's a wonderful thing. We very, very rarely use sugar as well. But my daughter is dairy-free and she's vegetarian, for example.
Wow.
But she's vegetarian by choice.
Yeah.
That's my wife raised both of our kids as vegetarian. My daughter is still. My son is not. He eats meatballs every day.
I want the meat.
He loves meatballs.
Yeah.
So I with my son in particular, like he'll always go, if there's a Haribo available, he'll always want a Haribo. But actually, but he's very picky about things like fish fingers and stuff.
Okay.
But then let's just say we've planted carrots outside. He will pick a carrot out the ground with mud on it and he'll eat it without even being washed.
Children.
Yes, and they're just
children.
And that's probably
not out the ground and just like rum.
And like, he's got the mud in his teeth and all that, and he's like, he's got cuts on his head where he's fallen over outside, and it's I love that.
Yes,
and
it's part of childhood, and it's the fun memories.
It is. And like I want them to understand. Some children by the age of 10 won't have ever realized that a carrot is in the ground and they have to pull it out, and that's how you get them. And even I can't profess to know all about all vegetables, where they all come from, how beans are grown or peanuts or anything like that. All these things are a bit of an enigma to me. So I want them to also, with my children, they're going to know. So even now, right, they're 5 and 7.
Yeah.
They sometimes come back from school and say, "Oh, Papa, someone's told us that we're rich." And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So one of the parents is obviously...
someone's told us.
But I mean, there's so much to unpack in that. But
there's a lot.
So my children are coming back not knowing that they are rich, being told by other children who've been told by their parents that we're rich. That's an interesting whole thing. And I'm like, well, Luca, Florence, it depends on what rich means.
Yeah,
like
beautiful names, by the way.
Yeah, the Italian Tuscan towns.
Love it.
But, well, like Luca, Florence, actually... we're rich because we spend lots of time together. We're rich because Papa doesn't have to go to work.
So many levels of richness. Yes.
And this is what I'm saying. And I'm like, I was like, talk to your friends, because the one thing that you'll grow up to understand is probably their mum and dad are having to go to work.
Yes.
And they're not available. And sometimes they're in before school club and after school club, because it's hard to be a parent financially. And I was like, so then we talk about that. And I don't want them to grow up knowing they're going to get a £10 million check one day, because that doesn't feel like success.
Yes.
Now, what I do want them to grow up with is understanding that, say they want to go and do a career that isn't really a valuable career in terms of money, so they're going to go and be a nurse or an artist or a photographer or a musician, I want them to follow their dreams.
Yes, and know have that the supports for that.
There's a safety net. And but do that in a way. But do it in a way that it is a positive for them, that we are a safety net, not that they're just going to be entitled.
Yes.
Because from the age of 12, my dad had me out. I was working. I was getting up early. Even in sixth form, I was working in a nightclub 2 nights a week.
Wow.
I used to finish at 4 a.m. on a Friday morning and then go to school. When I was like 18,
No way.
And like, so those, because my dad would always expect us to earn money for the family, because we're a unit. We're a family unit.
Yes,
I was 18. I've been earning since I was 12. So yeah, like that's my expectations for my kids. But I'm a big one. Don't just let them have the outcome. Put the income in first. Put the input in first. And we had parents' evening just this week, and both of the teachers said, "You put so much effort into homework," because we do. And if we ever go on holiday, we'll go to museums and we'll get like the little map of the museum, and they'll draw on it and they'll write what they learn. And yes, our children are privileged because they get to go on lots of holidays and do lots of things, but actually we're trying to educate them at the same time. And travel is one of the best forms of education.
Yeah.
People, food, flights, just because we're in Airbnbs usually rather than hotels. Different weather. We went to Tromsø in Norway. It was -10, with the reindeer in the mountains. Magic, absolutely magic. But yeah, that's my expectations for the kids.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this because you're here, but I think even for me, this episode is probably one I'm going to sit down and just watch it again and over again, because we're thinking about children, and we're in the process of thinking that we're going to be parents soon or one day. And everything you're saying to me, everything you're saying is so simplistic, but it's actually true. I mean, especially with children, you don't teach them complex solutions or complex methods of doing things. So to say and break it down to say, to get something, you have to put something in. So if you want that ice cream, eat your healthy food first, and then you can. It's not that you can't have the ice cream. It's not that you can't, have a bath instead of shower. It's not that you can't, be on your iPad for an hour or whatever, but you need to do this first. And I think, to me, that's amazing. And that's probably what's missing nowadays, because especially, and I talk about this a lot, we live in the instant gratification culture, instant access, instant everything, that a lot of people seem to think that, no, I can just do whatever I want to do instantly. And that's not really how it works.
I couldn't agree with you more. And again, that is life. That is society. That is how we're now raised. And I just want to hold them off from that as long as possible and show them that there is a different way. But I'm like that as well. Instant gratification. That's why we sit on our phones and watch videos for less than 3 seconds and do that for 2 hours. And then you realize it's 11 o'clock at night and you should have gone to sleep.
That was me. I remember one time I started at like midnight. I was like, I'm just going to quickly watch something on Instagram before I go to bed. It was 2 a.m.
And then you sacrifice sleep.
Yes.
And sleep is so...
And then you wake up
if I've learned anything as a nearly 40-year-old now, just sleep more. Prioritize some sleep. It just changes you as a person, I think, if you have a bit more.
I love that. I've got an app that tracks my sleep.
Oh, nice.
So every day it tells me minus whatever or plus whatever. And I almost wake up in anticipation of what the app is going to say.
Wow.
So I wake up and I'm like, I haven't got enough sleep. The app is going to say I have a really bad sleep score. And I look at it and I'm like, I knew that. Thank you. Thanks for confirming. But no, sleep is extremely important. I agree. So a lot of people admire leadership from a distance, of course, but they do not always see the trade-offs. What do people misunderstand about things like influence, senior leadership, and building at scale?
I think often when you look at leaders, it's easy just to see like the bravado piece, the leadership piece, like they look like they have all the answers. I think typical leadership in the West and in the UK in particular is someone you look up to. Often male, because that's just the organizations that we're in. They have all the answers. They don't show vulnerability. Being a leader is hard work. You take every bit of baggage with you, every problem. Everyone's always looking to you. You are the buck. The buck stops with you. So if you don't know the answer, who does know the answer?
I say sometimes it's like having non-biological children, because they're all your responsibility. If someone is sick, if someone has a family issue, it all comes to you, and you have to care about every single one of them.
And they look to you as if you are the Messiah. You are the only one that knows how to solve this.
That can solve their problems.
Partly, I did reasonably well in my early career was because I just got on with it. Like I didn't have great leaders in the first business I was in. So when you don't have great leaders, you can either just hide and not try and do anything. I just tried to be a leader myself. I didn't really know what it meant at the time. But I just started to do those. So I think for leadership, I always want to show vulnerability. Like we're talking very openly now. This was my leadership style. I didn't ever go in and pretend it was great. Say we were going into a big sales pitch. I would say to the team, I'm nervous before we go in here. But those nerves are okay, because let's take that energy and put it into something positive. And it's also okay if you're nervous because you care about this. You're saying about your sleep watch. I often could feel inside how nervous I was. And the more nerves I had, the more I knew I cared about what was about to happen.
I say that as well. I do say that,
So, and it's just an instinct thing. You can't write it down or measure it, but it's almost like your adrenaline. You can feel how hard it's going to go. And sometimes you go into a situation and I'm more nervous than I thought I would be. So maybe I care about this in my subconscious more. And sometimes less. And I'm always having like an internal monologue with myself about why am I feeling more or less excited about this. So I think with leadership, it's easy to look from afar, the nice picture on LinkedIn, all of the quality posts, the nice emails and stuff, but there's a human in there. And leadership isn't about always having the right answers. It's about bringing people together to get the answers and being accessible. There are many leaders that are not. I mean, let's face it, we've all been there with difficult people. They're not accessible. They're rude. They're nasty. They are blockers.
Yeah.
Because they're insecure and they're trying to block anybody from working it out. But it can work in business. I do a lot of polls on my LinkedIn. And one of the polls I did last week was, have you ever wondered how someone very senior got into that position? As in they weren't very competent.
My gosh.
It was like an 87% yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes you sat there like, how? Yes. Like this has to be some nepotism or something.
But my point is brilliant, right? If you look at someone and internally judge them, thinking, how on earth have you got to that position? You know you can do it as well. You look at the things they're terrible at. You're probably better at that than they are. How do you take all of that learning from what they've not done very well and be better than them? So if ever you see a bad leader at the top, it should make you feel that you've got the answers and you can do it better than them.
Yeah.
But it will happen forever. That's just
and
business.
I think a lot as well, especially for those who are trying to become leaders or better leaders. I think when you're in those positions, don't allow that situation to change you. Allow it to inspire you of what not to do. So I remember when in the early part of my career, when I was doing my graduate scheme, I was part of a contract, let's say, that weren't very good at figuring out what to do with me. And I promised myself that whoever I was leading in the future, I would ensure that they always felt that their skills were valuable and useful. And if I had just allowed that get to me, I wouldn't be in a position where I'm a better leader today. I instead will probably do the same thing to other people because I'm like, this is what was done to me. I've learned nothing. Let me do the same. But I think for me, it's all about you're in that position. You've seen what's happening. You're not happy with the way things are going, but you know you're going to be in a different position tomorrow. Figure out how to change it. Figure out how to make it better for someone else.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's, as you just said, it's about understanding and taking that as a positive for how it can make you better. So learn from the ones that aren't very good. But it's the same for me. The first leaders I had, they weren't good. And actually, even when I used to work for a company called Rollright, we got bought out by a big German business. And actually, the leadership I saw in that business, I knew wasn't going to work in small business. So when I started Pareto, partly it was the antithesis to what I'd just been experiencing in a bigger business. And that was what was trying to make it successful from the start. But yeah, like I said, that professional vulnerability and being open to people. When you are in our world of facilities management, there aren't that many experts. You have your engineers and that, but we're all quite generalist in what we do. All we really have is people skills and human to human skills. That's true, and those that can really nail that emotional intelligence piece and be a good person, I think that's one of the most important skills in leadership. And it certainly worked for me.
Yeah. And as we're on this topic, you've said that volunteering helped you build connections without needing to sell anything. Why do you think service often opens doors in a way that self-promotion can't? Yeah,
I just think volunteering is like one of my keys to success. If you can help somebody without expecting anything back, that is the key. I almost think that's the key to life to some degree. Karma and everything, right? Just go into something with the only intention is I'm here to do good for somebody else. That will give you good results back. Volunteering worked really well for me in my earlier career. So on the IWFM, we have something called the Rising FMs. I was with them in 2012 when I was first starting out. I was on the committee. I organized events. I did it all for free. Everything as a volunteer. I was never selling. I was just around. But that helped me to build my tribe of people. And they were all young and we were all growing together. So then when I started Pareto, yes, I'd started from scratch, but I was already known in the sector because I had my own little group. I had a networking thing. I'd written lots of articles. I'd done some awards and everything too. So like for me, volunteering is just what opened the doors. And networking is really where that started. I was a really nervous networker to start off with. And people wouldn't believe it now because I'll go into a room, but it's because I have a profile now and people know me. But we used to have Blackberries, right? Back in the day. I'd walk into the room, I'd be on my Blackberry in the corner, hiding away because I was nervous. And I used to enter a room, and some young people may resonate, and think, what value am I bringing to other people in the room? Why would that senior leader want to talk to me? I have done probably 100 mentoring. I've mentored 100 people in the FM sector personally now. I promise you, talking to young people and understanding their challenges, their insecurities, what's working well for them, you learn so much as a senior leader by understanding what people have challenged them with themselves. So I think for me, I just wanted to make sure that I was always open and having those conversations and being part of that networking community, volunteering all day long. And if you are in a job and so let's just say you aspire to be an entrepreneur, that's wonderful. Whilst you are in a job and someone's paying your salary, go and volunteer, go and network, go and write the articles, do the podcasting, all that stuff, build your profile. While someone else is paying you a salary, build the business on the side so that when you're ready, the business is ready for you.
Exactly.
And like that's all starts with volunteering. I think.
You can't, the biggest investment one can make is an investment in yourself. Usually. And volunteering does give you that because you learn so many skills, you meet so many people. And even with this, like I'm building skills in terms of talking to people. And when I say this to people, they don't believe me, but I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to people. Even my friends know that. I think my friends know this more than work colleagues because when I go into my house, I'm in my house. I'm not leaving for anything.
Pajamas on. That's it.
I'm in front of the TV. I'm playing video games or I'm talking with my wife or I'm eating or I'm sleeping. I'm most likely sleeping, let's be honest. But when you step out of your shell and you volunteer and you meet with people, even if it's like some charity stuff. My wife is doing this thing today, which is amazing, where she is interviewing people in young education or like early education, giving them interview experience. All of that helps you, you know, and it's something that you can do while you are getting paid, while you are building, you know, your own little thing on the side and you're still working. So that's incredible advice.
It's absolutely the right thing to do. And you meet people. And those people, you might not be selling to them. You might work with them. They might become clients. They might be people you hire. They might join your team. You just never know. But that's why
you never know.
If we're good people and we leave good impressions and we leave good karma, things will happen. And even if they don't, that's okay because you've left a positive impression on somebody else. So many people go into professional relationships wanting something from the other side. I even find it myself. I do a lot of networking again now as chair of IWFM. And look, inevitably people want to sound me things from the FM. And I understand. But what I find is we have a chat. Maybe I thought it was sincere. And then almost immediately afterwards, here's the sales brochure. Can you introduce me to this person, that person? I'm like, I thought we were trying to sort of bond on a human level. And actually all you're trying to do is give me your brochure. I'm not that interested. And actually now, had we have had another chat and you messaged me about my forest or whatever it was that was going on, then maybe 2 or 3 emails down the track.
I could have been interested.
Yeah, I could have been because I'd built a rapport and then we sort of gone a little bit further. But it's so superficial when people just go in with wanting to get an outcome. And I sold nearly £250 million of services in my time, right? Personally, I didn't get a single one through a LinkedIn message, not a single pound. It was all through networking and people hearing the story and meeting people like you at events and stuff and just doing that. And I think sometimes the art of that gets lost. Certainly when people don't want to go to the office anymore and they don't want to be at networking events and things and AI is taking over everything. It's a huge amount of power in having a chat to someone.
Absolutely.
Whether over a coffee or whatever.
Especially with service, right? You're not selling a brochure, you're selling people.
Exactly.
They're going to be the ones to deliver that service.
And just the connections that you build together.
Okay. So I can't have the chair of the IWFM in my presence without asking him some facility management questions.
Of course.
So to people who are out there that don't know, they're like, what's facility management? What's FM? Can you just give them like a brief? Yeah.
Facilities management for me is imagine a nice big building. It could be an office building, a school, a prison, a hospital, a zoo, could be anything. There are many, many things that it takes to run that building, from the reception team, the cleaning, the engineering, the compliance, the real estate, the fit out, the feel, the vibe, the energy, everything that it takes to run that is huge. Facilities management is £100 billion a year industry. It employs 1.2 million people. And there are 125,000 service providers that are delivering within it. It's a big sector. It's within the top 10 within the UK. So facilities management is everything it takes to run a building efficiently, effectively, and create productivity for organizations. And that includes workplace. And that's how it feels when you go into an office and the journey and the ambiance and the temperature and everything that goes with it, including net zero and sustainability and all the energy stuff that comes with it too. So that's my definition of FM.
And I'm glad I asked you to do it because I feel like you did a much better job than I would have. It's incredible because like even my friends, they keep asking me like, oh, what was it you do again? Yeah. And I explain it, obviously not as good, but it's very similar to what you're saying. And then they get it and they're like, oh, so when I go into a hospital, the people who are like doing things behind the scene, they're important. I'm like, yes. Yeah. How are you going to get into the car park? How are you going to deal with the disinfection in the hospital?
Exactly. How are you going to have the clean instruments that are being used to operate on you? And and everything in between, and not catch Legionella while you're there and all that sort of stuff.
Well, let's not start talking about Legionella and all of that stuff. But anyway,
no, it's back, isn't it? I saw it was in the press. That's probably why it's in my mind.
Yes. Anyway, so, as the chair of the Adobe FM, how do you see the facility management and the FM sector evolving over the next few years?
We have a few interesting challenges. Okay. The group of people that work in FM are getting older. So half of the sector is over 50.
Okay.
So we know in the next 15 to 20 years, a lot of people will retire.
Okay.
The other challenge we have is we still struggle to bring young people in. So people are not going to university or college to come in to be facilities managers. The stats are still something like 3% of people come from university straight into the sector. So we have this bomb of older people are retiring. We're struggling to attract younger people, and it's going to elongate this this group of people in the middle. So we have to keep promoting career of choice. We have to keep trying to bring apprentices in, graduates in. Like you came through the graduate scheme, as you mentioned. Amazing. Like we need more of that. So that's one thing. The other thing, of course, which everyone's talking about is AI. Now, I very passionately believe that facilities work that we do, for example, engineering, changing light bulbs, managing buildings, AI can play a part in that. But I really believe that when you go to change a lamp above someone's desk, it's not the changing of the lamp that is the service. It's going up. How are you doing today? Is it okay if I get above your desk? I'm really sorry to disturb you. You move out the way. I get up. I do it. I wear gloves. It's nice and clean. I put it all back. Maybe I leave you a little card to say, please, can you leave some feedback for us on it? And then the job gets closed down. It's not changing the light bulb. It's the experience of doing it.
It is,
Now, whilst AI may be able to improve energy reduction and lighting usage and consumption in buildings, it's never going to impact or change how that person goes to interact with somebody else. So I think data management, utility management, lease holding, utilization, all those things will change because there'll be more data available that can be harvested very quickly. But I don't think we'll ever lose a human touch. And what we know is there is a shortage of engineers and skilled engineers. And we know that the salaries for like mechanical engineers has gone through the roof because there are no boiler guys, there are no mechanical guys or girls out there that are trying to deliver this. My daughter, I wish she will go and be a mechanical engineer because she'll clean up. I know she will. That's a $100K a year job in the future. It really is. Like if anyone's young and listening, like go down a trade right now. Because the UK government is also talking about investing in the in the infrastructure of the UK, and we need more people like that. But mainly because kids are coming up, they want to be an AI engineer or a social media influencer. They don't want to be an electrician or mechanical or plumber anymore. So I think like we already know that that's a challenge. The other challenge the sector has, and we know this from HSBC from an economy perspective, is the UK, adjusted for inflation and the economy, has the most expensive wage rises out of any country in the world over the last 5 years. So our wages are rising quicker comparative to GDP than any other country in the world over the last 5 years, predominantly driven by minimum wage. So minimum wage is going to be about 27,000 in April this year. As we know in facilities management, we're not making loads of money. So like profitability is always challenged. Customers are always wanting less price. Suppliers are always wanting to charge more. And that gap is getting tighter and tighter. And FM providers are often making 4%, 5% profit. So a change in, say, 6% on minimum wage can have a really big impact on the overall cost. And customers are not always on board with the increases, even though they're statutory driven. So that continues to be a challenge. And also this is against the thing of M&A. So, you know, there's a lot of acquisition activity happening within the sector as well. Pareto has done some acquisitions. BGIS have done acquisitions. OCS and Italian Service coming together. There is massive amounts of things going on. So I think the bigger ones will continue to get bigger, but it creates a lot of opportunity for SMEs. So of the 125,000 service providers in the sector, 93% are less than $1 million turnover. So SMEs work in this sector. And that might just be a bloke with a van that's going around doing a little bit of air conditioning maintenance, or a woman that's running a security business or whatever. But actually, I think like that opportunity is there for SMEs. So we face an interesting and challenging and changing time as IWFM and as the sector, But I'm really excited and I'm hopeful, and there is a world of opportunity for young people. We just have to keep promoting it and try and find them. And it's not that easy. I don't pretend to have the answers either. I just want to keep promoting it and doing the right thing. And education is a great way to bring them in.
And what I find is that a lot of people still fall into facility management. And funny enough, I was one of those people because I was supposed to be on the project management graduate scheme route, because I did engineering project management for my master's. And then when I got in, they were like, oh, do you want to do FM instead of project management because the project management route is filled up?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what FM is, but okay. Like, it seemed interesting.
Amazing, isn't it?
I know, right? It's crazy. And I loved it. Like, I've loved it ever since, and I still do, because it's a melting pot of everything. And within my role, I do project management anyway. It's just I'm not specific to project management. So what do we need to do differently if we want younger generations to actually see FM as a serious and exciting career?
I look to countries like the Netherlands. Okay. So I work with Breda University. In the Netherlands, they have 500 FM undergraduates every year that come through there. 500. In the UK, it's less than 30. And actually in the UK, it's probably even less than that at the moment. There's just not a demand for UK education in facilities management. But in Netherlands, when you get to a certain age, you decide, do you want to go into hotel management or facilities management? And they have their like rival courses, and they have a rivalry against each other. But in Breda alone, they have 100 undergraduates every year. And I've been to the university the last 2 years to like lecture and work with them on some of their projects. It's amazing. You've got all these 19-year-olds who care about FM. And they're ambitious about it, and they want their career to be within that.
That's incredible.
I know, but doesn't it sound so crazy?
It sounds so crazy, especially because like if it's something that you're investing in from a really young age, the ideas and the thoughts and the processes, they become so different. You're no longer trying to catch up. You've already been thinking about it. And especially for the younger generation and children, they ask the most dynamic questions, the most basic questions. They come into a room, why is that there? And you look at it and be like, actually, why is it there?
And you say it's been there all the time, so no one knows. I am constantly inspired when I go and visit Breda, and I think it shows what's possible. The European FM market is still maturing, but Netherlands has done very well. The challenge we have, of course, because of Brexit, it's not that easy for Dutch people to come and work in the UK. So that would be wonderful if it was, because then we could have a scheme to bring Dutch people in and to do it. But we have to, obviously work around the confines of that. So that would be my ambition, and that would be how I would do it. But universities are challenged in their own way as well, with their own financials too. But if we could make it a more desirable course and get people to go on that journey, then that's how you bring them in. And Breda and universities across Netherlands are proving that on a day-to-day basis.
And when we do bring these individuals in, when they do come in, what do we need to do better to actually keep good people in the industry and help them grow? And just to add on to this, I was watching one of the other podcasts you did, and you talked about how you were able to maintain 100% retention rate. So you might be able to give us like a full-bodied answer to this.
Okay. From an FM perspective, I really believe in the journey. It doesn't matter what age you are, by the way. Your journey can be at any point in your career. In the Institute Workplace and Facilities Management, we now have our levels 2 through 7. Okay. So that means that you can come in as an apprentice and start level 2 and go all the way to masters at level 7. So I did my masters in facility management at UCL. And but actually now there's a pathway. We've created a pathway. In the last 10 years or so, it's come to fruition. If you want to keep people, I think people need to feel like they're going on a continued development journey. It's not for everybody, because not everybody wants the extra hassle of doing courses and doing their masters and everything whilst they're working. But for those that are ambitious, you can come into this sector with almost no skills and go up to master's level and get 100K as an FM director somewhere. Like, that's very attainable for you, for anybody that's going on that journey. So my aspirations are that people go on a journey and they go on a development pathway. I think that's how you keep people. With my team, so I had a team of 15 senior people that ran Pareto for us in the end, and we had 100% retention over 10 years. Wow. Didn't lose a single senior manager that I hired. Wow. Well done. Partly because I worked really hard to hire them. I would never, ever hire someone just for the sake of it in my senior team. Lower level roles, yes, sometimes you just need a body and you need it to, and that's not the right answer, but sometimes you just have to have someone. In my senior team, I would go without. So if it meant that I needed to keep doing the sales a bit longer, I would, or the marketing or the socials or the ops. And what really I wanted to focus on was them as individuals.
Yeah.
Now, in that team of 15 senior people I had, it was diverse in every way. So we had every diverse characteristic represented. And we were just this beautiful group of people that wouldn't be able to go to the big companies and get decent jobs. They wouldn't. I would try and promote people above where they were because I could see the energy inside of them and let them grow into it a little bit. And very respectfully to all the FM businesses out there, but the bigger ones, when people from those organizations came to Pareto and were interviewed, especially with me, I just didn't get it. They were just too indoctrinated in what was going on.
Very rigid.
Yeah, suit and ties. And it was
I call it the company propaganda.
Really. And Pareto was the opposite of the company propaganda. I mean, we would have got on so well if we'd have met earlier on. But like, you would have been in my senior team, no worries. But actually, like, I wanted to have a group of people that thought differently. They were creative. Maybe they'd battled something to get there. And I, including myself, I used to very affectionately refer to us as the home of the broken. So if someone had done something bad to you in your past, you came to Pareto to prove that you were worth it. And that is how you get 100% retention. Wow. It is like a regiment that's going on a special mission of rangers that you are doing this together. And everyone has everyone's back. I talked about trust earlier on. The trust has to be implicit. There has to be that everyone is working for each other. Everyone has everyone back. And in that team of 15, never are we blaming each other. If something goes wrong, this is a mistake of all of us. Everyone got bonuses as a team, no individual bonuses. I always had that mentality. We win and lose as a team.
Yes.
And then towards the end, they were gifted shares. So they're part of the shareholding as well at the exit, which was amazing for me to see them get some money as well. And some people went on to do great things like paying their mortgages off and paying debt off and buying dream cars and all those things, which was great for me. But that was really my focus on those people. But you had to be part of the team. Yeah. And it was that if I called on a Saturday afternoon, I would expect them to answer the phone. But if they said, look, I need Monday off because I'm doing X, Y, Z, that's fine. Don't even book a day, just whatever. I just sort of, you are in my gang. So to some degree, when you're in my gang, we're all together. Yeah. And it's just, we'll do whatever it takes. But yeah, look, we were great. We had a good social life as well in terms of if there was ever a big client thing, we'd go up and we'd go to York or wherever. And then we'd go to the races while we were there and have some drinks and things. And I loved the team. And those 15 people, many of them have left now because things change and as lives change and everything. But none of them, there was no weak link. Yeah. And actually, look, we weren't all the same personalities. Sometimes there were disagreements. Some were harder than others. Some were softer than others. But every one of those brought into the vision. And that's what I was trying to do. And as a leader, I was trying to show them it's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay. And like people, I mean, there are so many amazing people, but people like Colin Kimber. Colin came from a big FM company. Colin is an amazing advocate for LGBT plus within the sector, right? And he had not been able to do that in the business he was in before. And he describes it. It's like when I came to Pareto, he almost talks about like coming out again. Yeah. Because all of a sudden now, like, it's cool. You want like, let's talk about it.
You're like, educate a lot and able to do a lot. Yeah.
And I want to be educated all the time. And Colin and I, he'll tell the story, but early on, I used to drive him around in London a lot. I used to have a Nissan Duke and I'd drive him around and he'd tell me all about Soho in the 80s and what it was all like. But I wanted to embrace everybody in their own way and be real about that. And for when I look around now, Colin has gone on to be one of the most important advocates for diversity. Forget LGBT plus, for diversity in the entire sector. And he is constantly up for award after award after award. And I like to I'm so proud that I had a little bit of a part to play in that. Yeah. And we're together for the British Diversity Awards next week. We're both up for awards for that one. And I'm so proud. And he once won an award for the Rainbow Honours and he thanked me on stage. Honestly, it's one of my proudest moments. Yes. And but those are the relationships that take time to build. Yes. But that's how you get 100% retention because you care about people on their own level. And because of my background and my tolerance and my openness, I wanted to learn. Yeah. And I would ask awkward questions. I want to know about it. But that makes me a richer person because I can sort of slightly understand the position that they're coming from. I don't ever pretend to understand it deeply. But yeah, that was those guys.
Gosh. Well, first of all, I have spoken to Colin just a little bit. Okay. So please, when you see him next week, send my best, send my regards. So you've spoken a lot about wanting to help shape a more diverse future in leadership. Yeah. Why does that matter to you so personally?
I think it comes from my background. So when I grew up, I had diverse friends and I had a diverse group of people and I had experiences in all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Tolerance was really important to me. I wanted people to be themselves and be able to be themselves. And I really find it frustrating when someone, I don't know, we have a couple of trans friends, for example, when someone's trying to ridicule them for being trans, that's nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
That's their choice, right? Let them do it. Why does it matter to you that they have taken that decision and that path? And I feel really confident in that to challenge it back.
Yes.
And look, I'm 6'3". I'm a straight white guy. I am a millionaire now, and I am very confident in myself. The minimum I can do is to try and support people that are being marginalized in some other way.
It's like doing your part, right?
I think so. And like, as they say, silence is being complicit. To some degree, I have a voice and I want to use it. And
absolutely.
And like right now, I'm a massive feminist, which is no surprise, obviously, with my mum and everything. But I struggle. I get invited to speak on all male panels quite a lot, and often all white male panels, because that's the sector that we're in. And I say no. And that offends the men. And I'm like, guys, I just need you to understand that try a little bit harder.
Yes.
Just try a little bit harder.
And it's not like it doesn't exist. It's not like the diversity is not there. It's just because they're not looking for it.
It's laziness. And it's just men being men. So at the workplace event this year in Birmingham, I've got 21 women on stage across 3 days.
I love that.
I've got 3 panels, 7 women on each, and I'm the host. Now, next time I get asked to speak on an all-male panel, I'm going to say, here's the link to 21 other women. They are all amazing. Go and chat to one of those. Yeah. I don't need the promotion. Yes, I can stand on stage and be confident and do it, but these are the ones we should be championing. Now, that gets me in trouble a little bit because men don't all love that answer. But I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. And I feel very lucky to have a voice. I've mentored so many brilliant young women in this sector as well. I'm a nice guy. I'm never going to send you a weird message afterwards. I'm here to support the whole thing. And for the 21 women that are coming on that journey with us, I'm so grateful for their trust and their ability to do it, because they're open to ridicule as well. Because we have had messages on LinkedIn openly, oh, if this was 21 men, we'd be calling this sexist or whatever. I'm like, yeah, mate, that's why we're doing this, because of people like you. Yeah. So like, buckle up and please come and listen, because
and then go watch another one that is filled with all the 21 men. Like people are always going to be people on the internet.
Yes. Yeah. But the thing is, I know some of these people as well, and I was like,
that makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Gosh.
In the FM sector, there are many groups, predominantly male groups, that I've always tried to stay away from. A very deliberate decision. And sometimes that's ostracized me because that's what I've decided to do. But I'm my own person. I'm only going to do it my way. And that was really successful for us in a sales capacity, for showing the diversity and the brilliant people that were in our business that didn't look like everybody else. And we had this heart, like I said, we were a group of rangers going into battle together. And that was so powerful. And that's how you get 100% retention.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's making decisions that you are comfortable with and that you can live with. Yeah. And there's no need to, placate to someone else's feelings. And it just reminds me of this saying that I heard someone say, and I can't remember where it is. It was, if you don't ask me to explain my yes, don't ask me to explain my no, because I've said it for a reason. And you're even being kind, saying, hey, this is why we're doing it. So, I mean, if someone's not comfortable with that and it is the right thing to do, then there's not much help you can give to them. Yeah. Yeah. So you've mentioned before that one of the first things you think about in leadership is succession. What does good succession planning reveal, not just about the leader, but about the maturity of a company, for example?
The best person I've ever met in succession planning is a guy called Chris Barnes. Okay. So he was one of my senior team. He was at Sodexo for a long time. Okay. Chris would be hiring reception team people, knowing that one day they'd be in his account management team. Wow. I've never met anyone like him. And I actually haven't met anyone since either. Succession is like that. Succession is an obsession that people that you're bringing into the business, you're so ambitious for them that they're going to go beyond the job that you give them very early on. That's what good succession looks like.
Absolutely.
And what Chris would have is, so let's just say he had a reception team and then middle management and then senior management. He'd almost see it as a funnel. It was like a football team bringing academy players in that would become full players in the future.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. I wasn't brilliant at succession planning because I was always in the moment. There was always something else going on. It was always very challenging. Absolutely. But I had to bring in people like Chris that were really good. So yeah, I would say succession planning is about when you're hiring people, think 2 steps ahead for them, be ambitious for them. And some of the best managers in Pareto now started on reception for Chris. Wow. And he is the one. Without him, they would not gone on the journey because he gives them confidence and belief.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you can believe on their behalf, and he has changed so many lives. I'm in awe of what he's done from that perspective. And I still count Chris as a friend today. And yeah, he's absolutely brilliant at it.
I wonder why a lot of companies still see succession as like a scary thing.
It's ego, I think. Like, I believe in this idea that when you hire people, you need to hire people who are better at things than you are.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are in self-preservation mode. And a lot of people are worried that these kids are coming in.
Sure. It's I really think it's the fear. They're afraid that someone is going to do something better than them or.
And I just really believe if someone's going to come in and absolutely outperform every expectation, that's a great thing. Yeah. That's what you should be hiring. Because alternatively, you're going to hire mediocre people who are just going to bumble along. There is a time and a place for plodders. There absolutely is. But don't be scared by people that are ambitious and are probably better than you at certain things. Because people, I always think about people that you can elevate yourself by elevating others, like they say. And but you need to give people the opportunity. And that is how you make yourself more senior. When your team is so good that you've sort of made yourself redundant, that idea, then you move yourself up to the next level. That can be really powerful. But look, especially men, get out your own way. Like, get out your own way. Put your ego to the side. Give some people a chance. Yeah. They will make your life easier.
Yeah. And it's the saying that iron sharpens iron, right? I really don't want to work with people who are not challenging me mentally and emotionally and work-wise. And it makes you a better person. I've got someone in my team now. When this comes out, it'll be in my previous team. And he came in as like a contract coordinator. And he inspires me every day because he will hound me down to do specific things. And I saw that in the interview and I could have seen it like, oh, he's going to come in and feel like he knows everything and is going to try and be on top of everything. But I thought that's actually good. I should be surrounding myself with people that keep me on my toes. He will send me a handover and ask me for my handover when I'm going on holiday. And I'm just like, wait, calm down. I should be the one chasing you for stuff. But it's really good. And I think that's what people miss as well by not bringing in the right people, by not thinking about their progression and where you see them. You do a disservice to them as a leader and you do a disservice to yourself because you can't grow. Having the right people in the right places, thinking about their succession will allow you to move on to other things, will allow you more time to create, to, think about things. If you're not there, if something happens and you fortunately can't make a meeting, you haven't trained anyone to give that presentation, right? So you're going to be struggling to find a last minute replacement. So
I couldn't agree with you more. Like that, and it's a really important leadership lesson. And actually, look, the worst you can do, you make loads of good hires, people around the business are going, wow, who's hiring all these good people? You take the credit for it. And actually, that's a good leadership trait, and that should make you more senior. And some of the times, your ability to exit the role that you're in and go more senior is to have better people behind you.
Yes.
Yeah, not everyone thinks that way, unfortunately. So,
oh well, they're lost.
Yes,
absolutely, they're lost.
Yeah.
So, for someone early in their career who is ambitious, hungry, and just wanting to build something significant, what would you want them to understand now about success before life teaches it to them the hard way?
I think really my advice to young people is to go out and experience as much as you can. And we go back to volunteering and networking and writing articles and winning awards. Go and get rejected. Go and try and get an article in the press and they say no. Apply for an award and get a no. Go to networking events and be awkward and have difficult conversations. The sooner you can get all of that out of your system and experience that, I think the better. Because humans are brilliant at learning, right? Yes. It's like the one defense mechanism we have in our bodies is learning. Just go and make the mistakes. And when you make them early and you make them young and you make them small, they are not significant mistakes. Yeah. I'm not saying go and do something completely stupid, but it's if you go up to someone and try and chat to them at a networking event and they blank you, that's just something, right? That's just a learning curve for you in terms of that. You'll do it differently next time.
Yeah. And so you'll take the rejection better next time because it happens.
Yes. Yeah. And people are awkward. And networking events in particular are awkward because of all the clicks and everything. But if you're going to start your own business one day, it's better to do that when someone else is paying you your salary than when you're doing it yourself in business. And I was by no means perfect when I started, but I did have 6 years of experience of doing all these types of things. So when I called the first client on the first day, I had some idea of what I was saying. I knew which events to go to. I knew how to get articles in the press. I knew how to win awards. So like that, go and learn that early and fail early on. And they say fail fast, right? And all that. I'm not saying just go and get loads of rejections and loads of failures, because you will have success, but you have to understand very early to get a success. So look, I've won nearly 50 awards. Happy days for me. Probably applied for 500.
Wow.
Okay. It's those sort of ratios.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have been rejected, say 450 times, and maybe I've won about 50 times.
Yeah.
It's that sort of number. That's it. It's like in basketball, they're saying you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, although I think that's Wayne Gretzky. Yeah. But like some of those tennis players, they win 51% of their points and they win the championship. Yeah. But 49% of the time they fail. Lose. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. But go and do it when you're young and it doesn't impact you so much, and you just sort of get over some of that fear. And I think that by everyone being at home and being a bit too telly-based, and we're not sort of in the office, you lose a bit of that daily interaction. True. Because you're not going to fail at home. Yeah. You might have an argument with your partner or whatever, but you're not exposing yourself to anything. It's the exposure and the learning. And like I really believe in like the caveman mentality in us all. That I was talking to my wife about it yesterday, but like I believe in that. Like that is how we learn. Back in the day when we couldn't even talk, we learned to not burn ourselves on fire by burning ourselves on fire. Yeah. And like so I think that sort of works in business as well. Yeah. But do it early. And also, just remember, even when you're experienced, we make mistakes every day. Yeah. Every single day. And that might be, that conference I went to in Den Haag a couple of weeks ago, I was meant to be there at a certain time. I got there, I got on the bus and I went the wrong way. I got off the bus, I got on the tram, I was still going the wrong way. Oh no. By the time I realized I was 20 minutes further away and I was now late to meet some important people there. I ended up getting a cab and heading straight over there, cost a fortune. But I still make stupid mistakes and people do. And that's okay. It's human. It is. Yeah. And like just lean into that vulnerability for sure. Just going back to the failure bit, there's something one of my best friends says, and she's incredibly, absolutely crazy and amazing all at the same time. And she says that especially when it comes to jobs, she would apply for a lot of jobs. And when she was actively looking for jobs, and whenever a rejection comes in, she just deletes the email. Okay. She doesn't even let it sit. Okay. She's like, it's fine. Yeah. It's okay. Fine. Okay, you don't want me. That's okay. Delete next. Yes. The same thing applies for rejection and failures. You are going to fail a lot. Yeah. Failure is an evidence of something in motion. You're trying to get better. If you fail, fine. Learn from it. What's next? Yeah. How do I move on? Don't let it like bog you down. But I thought it was hilarious because I was applying for something at the same time as she was, and I didn't get it. And I only did like one application. And she was like, okay, so what's next? I'm like, what do you mean what's next? I've just got this. I'm not in the mood. I don't want to see it. She was like, no. You just delete it. Yeah. You just delete it and move on. It's great. It's great advice. And Ariana Grande, she has a song, Thank You Next. Oh, yes. All right. Thank You Next. I love the whole album, by the way. I'm a huge fan. But like, that's it. Move on. Yeah. Look, young people applying for jobs, you are going to get rejected. Oh, yes. Look, sorry, let me say that again. Young people applying for jobs, if you even get a rejection, you are lucky. You are lucky. You are lucky. That's so true. Yeah. People just ignore nowadays. It's crazy. It's like, I think like if you apply for a job but you don't hear after like a month, just consider it because they're probably not going to respond. And actually what I've been hearing a lot more recently, because Gen Z will just apply for hundreds of jobs, because with AI it's so easy to apply now. The AI tools that, The problem is now, when businesses do come back, on the rare occasion, they go, Andrew, good news, we want to interview you for this job. It's just like, what job? You go, what job? Because I've applied for 200. It's like, which one are you talking about? And can you remind me what? And there's now a sales pitch back from the company to remind you. And maybe you're not interested. Isn't that amazing? Yes, it's good. You're like, I applied for that one. What's the hybrid and working pattern? Yeah, exactly. It's like, actually, no, I changed my mind. Not enough days in the office and stuff or whatever. That's the reality now. And I think rejection is actually yes, you get the emails occasionally, but probably 90% of the time you won't even hear back.
Yeah.
That is resilience you have to build early now. And like young kids, like that's the world you're going into. The only thing I say to those people is you're not special. It's what happens to everybody. And that's easy to say, but you are just the same as everybody else. Just keep going.
Absolutely.
Keep going, create your own luck.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe like some of those in-person events things again for young people, that's how you just create a connection beyond an email, beyond an AI, beyond a LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And you just happen to be right place, right time.
Yeah.
The power of that.
So as we bring the podcast to a close, I just want to say I've had the best time talking to you, but I ask all of my guests this question, and it is, what does this season of your journey require from you?
It requires me to be focused and focusing on what's important and not being dragged in by mainstream and following other people's versions of success.
Yeah.
It reminds me that I just need to remember why I'm here, the journey I've been on. And it's very easy to forget those things after a couple of years. So yeah, focus. And my ambition, like I say, is to be present and to be with the ones that I love, and to make sure that they remain my focus. Because there are many people trying to take my views away from that because everybody wants a piece of Andrew because I put myself out there now. But it's me versus me. I'm back to right where I was.
Yeah.
And I want to prioritize family, kids, friends, happiness, my health, all of those things. And that's what's important to me now.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Andrew. Honestly, I want to say it's an honor to meet you in person finally, but it's also an honor for you to take your time away from your extremely busy schedule and your wonderful life and spend it with us, educating us and just telling us your story. And I think I have personally learned so much from that. I'm sure the viewers have as well. And before we kind of wrap, is there anything else you want to add? Or
no, this has been one of the most open and free-flowing conversations I've ever had. I love you. You come across so well.
Thank you.
I wish we would have met 5 years ago, and then we could have done some business together. But huge respect to what you've built here.
Well, you never know what the future might hold.
You never know. You never know.
Hey, the kids might move on, and then you might you might be like, I want to do something new.
Can I be your PA?
I think it should be the other way around. But I would never say no. No, it was absolutely honor.
But no, and I love your style and congratulations on what you're doing. And I saw your podcast before I knew about you in facilities management. So your podcast was bigger than you were from FM. So no, I really admire the guys that are doing it out there, and thank you for your approach and your questions. So no,
my pleasure. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, we've come to the end of this episode. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you had a fantastic time. I definitely did. I will make sure all the links to Andrew's LinkedIn, everything that he's doing is available in the comments and in the description sections. If you have any views on this episode, it would be lovely to hear your comments. And obviously, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help the channel grow. I can't wait to see you guys on the next one. Until then, have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're listening to this. And I will see you soon. Bye.